man of many, many, many talents, and he's just added another string to his bow, because I know this man for quite a while, and he's Terry O'Shea. He's living in Virginia, originally from Dublin. He's going to tell us his story. Part of what he is written down in the new book that he's brought out now. But Terry is also a singer, but I'm going to find out a bit. Terry O'Shea, you're very, very welcome to the show. Terry, good man, very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Terry O'Shea.
Yes.
Dub in Cavan.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a rap song, that, you know, Dub in Cavan.
Dub in Cavan.
But what's the story? How did you end up you're living in Virginia?
I'm living in Virginia. I'm from Sheriff Street. Right in Sheriff Street, 60s and 70s. You wouldn't remember that, Paul. You're far, far too young.
You want to bet?
And I grew up in the Sheriff Street in the inner city. And the book is an inner city, and it's based in Sheriff Street. But the area would be called Chapelgate Gardens, as Roddy Doyle wrote about Barrytown with Kilbarrack. I have Chapelgate Gardens, which is in the book, and it's a fiction book. It's humorous.
Yeah. It's
Dublin wit, full of Dublin wit. It's sad in parts, but it's a good read. It's a good roller coaster read.
Is it kind of autobiographical, or is it?
Is
there bits in it that are there people in it you're reading and saying, oh, if they know, do they spot themselves?
Paul, if I wrote the truth, you wouldn't believe it. No, seriously, as they say, fact is stranger than fiction, you know. But I wrote the book, the characters and the scenarios and the times that were struggling, people struggling, the resilience of people back in the 60s, where they used to have to use the pawn shop to live from day to day, week to week, and that's what it's about. It's about young adults, 18, 19 years of age, 20 years of age, coming to terms with life, looking at the television, seeing America and seeing England on the television, and they're stuck in this grey, drab Dublin city of the 60s. Yeah. So it's funny and it's humorous, it's full of Dublin wit, as I say. And you can see them when they're looking at their own life and they're looking at other people's lives through the television, they say, I want better. Yeah. But some are happy to sit back and just get into a job.
And television would have been relatively new, wouldn't it?
Well, it would have been. Well, in the late 60s. It's 1967. Yeah. This is the first of a trilogy, Paul. This is the first of a trilogy. So I followed them through. There's emigration. Some of them are faced with emigration. Do they stay where they are? Do they go on? Do they go to England, to go to London, which some of them do? And I followed them through. And on the second book, I followed them into the 70s and then into the 80s and 90s in the third book. And that's what the first, second, and third book are about.
So bring us to the start of the book. Who's the character at the beginning?
Okay, there's about 8 main characters. There's Imelda Bradshaw. She is far ahead of her time. She's 19 years of age. She is streetwise. She is well up with everything. She's not the normal, I'll take, a normal girl. She is well ahead of, streets ahead of some guys. There's Gerard Foley. He wants to get on. He's fed up in life. He's stuck in a rut. He's on the dole. He's stealing. He's robbing. There's Michael. His brother.
I know these two characters already.
There's Michael. Michael is very laid back. He wants to get a job. He wants to stay in Chapelgate Gardens. He wants to rear a family. He's with Angela Hopkins. Angela Hopkins is a girl who just wants to settle down like a mother, have a family, and accept what life throws at them. There's also 2 good characters, Pancho and Joxer. Pancho and Joxer are 19, going on 12 in their head. They just drift through life. There's 2 detectives who are from the country. They patrol Chapelgate Gardens, and like back in the 60s, most coppers, most guards came from the country with an opinion about the Dublin people. And this could be, it's north inner city, but it could be south inner city. It could be London, it could be Manchester, because inner cities have their own little code, their own little, they have their own little village. So somebody coming from the outside to police them was kind of a mixed match. Alien, yeah. So you've got these 2 detectives, and I have a relationship with Imelda Bradshaw, who's 19 years of age. Again, she's streets ahead of all the guys, even when she meets one of the detectives who's in his 30s, early 30s. In them days, obviously when you were 30 you were old, but not like today. It's a different scenario today. So she defies the law. She doesn't care about authority. So she has this relationship with this detective, and it's quite good because he's a married man with a child and just a new child. So he has 2 children, so a new baby. But at home he has a wife who was like giving him grief. But in the streets he's like the big man. But at home he's a different man. And again, I deal with all these relationships. It's character driven.
Is Imelda the pivotal character?
She is very pivotal.
She is the...
Absolutely, yeah. And she controls her own destiny. Gerard wants to be with Imelda, but he knows if he stays with Imelda, he knows that they're not going to go anywhere. He wants to get out in life. So there's that kind of relationship. It's kind of a love that they don't want to get into. Then you've got Larry. Larry's a good character. He's kind of he's friends with Gerard and Michael. He's slightly OCD. He loves figures. He's one of these guys that loves lists. He does lists all the time. And he goes into work with his father. His father's an old-fashioned window cleaner, goes around, and his father's more of a doff the cap, take the money, and the customer, as he was the customer, they're his employers as he sees them. But Larry comes and brings the business he brings it to, back into in modern day, and he wants to have a business. So Larry's kind of changed now. And so, but in the first few chapters, I just set out a scenario, tell you about the characters, describe the area, but then I throw into the mix, around about the fourth chapter, I throw into the mix an incident that happens and it affects everybody that's involved in the book. And that's when they start to say, well, where will I go? When you question yourself in 19 to 20, where am I going with this? Where am I going with my life? And so then in the fourth or fifth chapter, I bring that in. An incident happens.
So you're not allowed to tell us.
I can't give
no,
too much
no,
away.
no, of course not. No,
it will take the sting. It will take the good out of the book, because as I say, some of the scenarios in the book, what happens? You will laugh, you will cry, and you will laugh again. There's Dublin wit. It's full of Dublin wit. I have to say that because the comebacks.
Is it written in Dublinese?
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. So for anybody out there that there will be little subtitles on the bottom. You can follow it. So that's the way it is. But it is a good read. It's a good holiday read. 3-4 days. There's over 340 pages, so 3 days. And
it's the first of a trilogy, you say?
It's the first of a trilogy, and the second one I bring them into the 70s.
Have you the second one done?
I've already. The second one's done. No, it's finished. The third one is finished as well. I've just put some nuances into it, just describing, just descriptive stuff. But basically, the three of them are nearly done. But also in the book, in the 3 books of the era, because I'm in the music and in the entertainment business, I have the music of the day. So I throw in some music, whether it be in the bars and the guys are singing, or whether it be on the jukebox, what's coming through, like in the 70s, like the boys are back in town, fill in it, when the boys are coming back from the UK, they've come back from London, and the big I am, and they're walking in, and the lad puts on the jukebox, the boys are back in town. So that's all.
You have a soundtrack and all, everything.
Well, in the book, you have to imagine it in your mind. You understand?
Fantastic, yeah.
At a wedding scene, and I have a Shirley Bassey number where there's a scenario where Imelda and Gerard, and he gets married and stuff like that.
What's the song, Terry? Come on, what is it?
It's Shirley Bassey, and it's Never, Never, Never. You know that song? Which she's a big diva.
I love you, hate you, love you,
exactly.
hate you,
and it's within keeping with the actual story, the narrative of the story. So it's everything kind of falls into place, and the way I bring the storyline, it's timelined well. It flows like that, and I think people when they read it, they will fall into each character. They'll like one, they'll hate another. So each person that reads it will fall for the character.
Brilliant. Now, what about Terry O'Shea?
Terry O'Shea, what about?
What about this character, Terry O'Shea? You haven't been a writer all your life, surely, Terry.
No. I'm in the entertainment business. I've been in the entertainment business for a long time. I had a business in Dublin back in between 1987 and the year maybe, I think it was 2000. I worked at a contract cleaning company. I had about 80 staff, had a big company. And then my wife fell ill, and we went to Spain and so she could recuperate. And while in Spain, I wrote a book called Sandals and Slippers. That was my first book, but it was a self-published book.
What inspired you?
What inspired me?
Were you lying on the beach there and you went, oh, I know.
What inspired me was when you see things happening in your life, and you can only write about what you know, and that's all I can do. So I wrote about Sandals and Slippers was the first one. So when I decided to write an inner city, I remember my childhood, and when you go to a funeral or a wedding when all the family get together, and you only relay stories what happened years ago. I used to say this to my children, and my daughter once said to me, "Dad, why don't you write it down? Why don't you write it down?" So I did. So a culmination of short stories, of little things that happened in my neighbourhood when I was a kid. Some things you wouldn't believe, you know, because as I said, the fact, you know, the truth. So I put it down, and then I just compiled it into a book, and I decided to make it a novel. And then because there was so much all the way through.
Terry, that's a skill. That's a skill. It's.
Well,
I've got a book, and we all talk about our own experiences here. And like you say, writing it down. But writing it down, now you're after telling me the story of an inner city. And you've painted it in my head that I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you get to that point? Like, did you have any training of writing or anything like that?
No, Paul, when I'm writing, I'm seeing the characters in my head. I'm seeing the scenario, and I play it out in my head, like a film. Like, say, you know, when you see a film. And of course, you'll be playing, I'll get Colin Farrell to play you in the film, so don't worry about that. So that's the way I write a scenario. I think of it, and it's like an artist sketching, and then I start adding to, say, the smells of if you walk into a bar, if you walk into a room, the smells, the people, what they wear, the era of the time, what they're wearing, the songs again, the songs that's in the background, the girls humming and maybe singing a song. So you kind of create a bubble for the reader, for me, for when I'm writing. And then I imagine things, and so I write. But I love writing. I really do love writing. Or I'll wake up in the middle of the night if I've done a storyline, and I'll think of something, and I'll say, oh, geez, and I'll get up, and I'll go in and put on a postie, stick it to the laptop, go back to bed, and the next morning when I walk in, I go, and so I remember. Or if I'm out.
So you do what everybody else wishes they'd done.
Well, you have to write it down because we're getting older and I can't remember anymore.
But we all get great ideas just as you're about to go to sleep. You say, oh, that is a great idea.
Yeah.
But you actually carry it through.
Oh, you have to put it down, Paul, because if it don't, it'll leave, you know, and it'll leave me, because sometimes when you see something, I gig, I'm in the entertainment business, so I get people up to sing and have a banter with them, and we sing a few songs. I might see something that's happening maybe I've
seen it myself.
You know what I'm talking about. So I see something, and I said, Jesus, that would make it, something interesting. Yeah. So I try and incorporate that in my work as well, into the books, and little things, little nuances, what people do, little gestures, or little. So that's what I do, and I try to pick up on that.
I've said it to loads of people before that see this in bands and stuff like that, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. What you see when you're up there and you're looking down. Yeah. You see everything.
You see everything.
And what everybody's doing. And it's, no matter where you are, you can see the whole bar, the whole gig, the whole club, wherever you are. And
people are relaxed. So people, when they're relaxed, they don't tend to hold themselves in or be careful. So they're relaxed, they're out for a night out. But because, as you know, when you're on the stage, you're sober, you're just watching everything, because you're controlling, you're entertaining them. Yeah. So you have to make sure that you're in control. So you bring them up and they make sure they're comfortable on stage, which is what I do. I do the karaoke, I make sure they're comfortable on stage and they're not stressed and they're singing. So, but when they're singing and I'm looking about and making sure everything's up, I just see little things, and I pick up on that.
And the big one is trouble, isn't it? Seriously though, because you're looking down at the bar and you go,
you can see that on my way off. You know it's going to kick off.
It's going to kick off. Nothing's happening, but you can just.
But you know it's going to happen.
There's an atmosphere.
Yeah, an atmosphere, and also when people are having a good time. And when you're standing back and you're singing it, when you can see it happening, you kind of say, you can't concentrate then. So it kind of puts you off. You're singing, you're saying, well, I do here, because you can see what's going to happen. Maybe a couple fighting or something, or arguing or something, And but that's. So
these are all these little things are part of what you see.
I pick them up, and
so the first book in Spain.
The first book in Spain, in fact, was just. One day, because I moved, because Linda was unwell, we moved to Spain just for a couple of years so she could recuperate. I just wrote about, say, what was happening at the time and how they moved to Spain. Because when I moved to Spain, I had to pick up the language for a start, because
What did you do over there? Were you karaoke?
I was in the karaoke. That's where I started, like my entertainment business. Before, when I was doing entertainment, I'd be getting up like everybody else, getting up to sing a song with a band, Streetwise. You probably know Streetwise. The lads in Streetwise, Tommy Carey and Billy Hughes, back in the day. And I'd get up and sing with them on a Sunday night down in maybe the Royal Oak, or maybe it could be in the Drake Inn in Finglas.
I remember them gigs.
The Kilkee Lodge, the lower deck in Dublin City. So you learn your trade. You learn. So it is, because it is.
What was the one in Randla? What was the one in Randla?
The Rathmines was the lower deck.
And what
The
was
Ranelagh was, geez, I'm not sure.
Where was the Purdy
The lower-
Loft? That was another one.
The Porty Loft. Wow, jeez. Was that the
See,
second?
I'm older than you think.
Oh, jeez. Are you sure?
Yeah.
God. The Porty Loft.
Dave's after
Porty
telling me
Loft.
that Colin Farrell won't be available to play.
Are you
They've
sure?
got
No,
Tom Cruise instead.
Tom Cruise instead. Well, then,
instead,
okay. Well, that's
which is
okay.
fair enough.
But
But anyway, you were saying about the karaoke. You did karaoke in Spain.
I did karaoke in Spain, and I had a great time. It was a love of singing. I love singing,
Yeah.
and I love all genres of music. I really do love all genres of music. Like even now, I do George Ezra, Sam Smith, even back to Sinatra. I go to Matt Monro. So all through Matt Monro, and I love listening to music. Northern Soul. Northern Soul is great. You know.
Did you notice you said Sam Smith and George Ezra and everything? And when you said Matt Monro, I went, "Oh yeah, that's it now." Now you're talking. That's
all the like music is good.
No matter what it is.
What it is.
Universal.
You might like one, you might like bluegrass, you might like country, but good music is good music, and you can't deny it. But Irish music, country music. See, I love music, you know. And there's a lot of music in the book as well.
That's why I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, the songs I can kind of bring you back then, you know. But as I said, I loved when I was doing the music in Spain. I used to get people up. I had a one man he used to sing with a band called The Statesmen in the 60s, and they were on the same bill as the Beatles. And the stories he told me about Roy Orbison, about Matt Monro, about all these. So, and again, I pick up on these things, these little things, and the story he told me, I would incorporate them because part of the book is written in London, because two of the guys emigrated to London, and there's certain scenes in London that anybody who has emigrated, and they feel that when you emigrate first, it's kind of you don't know where you are. There's these people are strange, even though they're only across the way. And back in the 60s, we were.
It was miles away. It was
a different era. I mean, when you go from Dublin and our upbringing then with the church and the police and everything. When you go to London, it's all colour. We come from black and white.
We've said this, we've said this before, that nobody realises now that not so long ago, London was so far away that it was the boat and the train.
Yeah,
it wasn't the plane.
Yep, it wasn't that far. But the way London was with the 60s, the swinging 60s, it was light years ahead.
Of course,
And if you watch the old TV shows from America, again, they were light years ahead. Like these fancy cars, all these, everything is in colour. Yeah, everything's in colour.
Different world.
Totally different world. So can you go and imagine, say, 17, 18, 19-year-old guys looking at the television and saying, "I want that." Yeah. It's like kids now. Kids now, they want it, and they want it now.
My dad emigrated to England when he was a teenager too, and I remember asking him, what was it like when he got to London? He says, I hadn't a clue what was going on. Yeah. He'd come from Killishandra, which is a small town in Ireland.
Yeah.
It was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing. So that was early 60s.
Different world. A different world.
But so you've incorporated all this into...
Yeah, I tried to incorporate it all. I think I've captured most of it, because one of the guys that's in it, he's in his 50s. He is in the underworld. He's a Dublin underworld crime figure in London, and he is called Jimmy Burke. Now, Jimmy is Gerard's mentor, as in when he goes to London, Gerard thinks he's going over just to help Jimmy. But Jimmy's like big time in the underworld in London, and he's earned that. He hasn't just come over. Jimmy's in his 50s, so he's earned his stripes. He's respected by the London underworld as well, from all the manners. Yes, and again, from Spain, I met some people in Spain. As you know, Spain is a very diverse country with a lot of diverse people from the UK. So I've met a lot of Irish men and English men that have been around in the 60s, that used to know the Craze and all these gangs. Yeah. And I got some information off them, and I've incorporated it into the book. So Jimmy Burke is the mentor, and he's the godfather, and he looks after Gerard, and he looks after Jem. And Jem, when I can't give too much away in the book again, but they come back and then they go back over again, and then you've got Larry, who is his nephew. But something happens again to Larry. If I tell too much,
don't tell us anymore.
I'll only tell the reader too much, and he won't buy the book. You have to buy the book.
Brilliant. So, but again, Terry, I'm intrigued now. You did your first book. Yeah. And you've done an Inner City. Right?
Yep. The second one is called A Far Cry from Chapelgate. It follows them. It picks them up in 1973. They're only like.
And the world is changing again.
The world is changing. They've matured. They have matured. And you can see it in the way they speak, the way they carry themselves. their attitudes. The whole scenario changes. We're in colour now. This is black and white. We're in colour.
Change the world.
Yeah, their attitudes have changed, and obviously Ireland was changing as well. Yeah. And then the music is changing. You remember in the early '70s, like it was great, all the different types of music. Then we punk rock and everything coming in. So you've got again Tin Lizzy again, like Philo and so I've got and Van Morrison. So I've got all this going on in the second book as well, and it follows them, and they're different. You can see where they're maturing, and that's where I think the second book. Once you read the first book, anybody who has read transcript of the manuscript that I've given them, because I had to give it to some people to see what do they feel about. They've always said to me, "What happens next?" At the end of the book,
which is great for a writer, isn't it? You know, that's what you want.
Yeah. If I had to put the two books together, it would have been like this thick. So I had to separate in a trilogy. That's why it's a trilogy, you know.
Right, getting it published.
Yes.
What's the secret there? Now that's another
tough.
Yeah.
You just have to persevere.
It's like a record deal, isn't it?
Yeah. You demo, you send it out. Rejection.
Yeah.
Rejection. Never accept rejection. Oh, and I say this to anybody who has it, whether it's a project, whether it's a book, whether it's music, you just push and push and push. Always push. Make sure you believe in yourself. You have to go there. You say, if they're not happy with it, I'm going to go somewhere else. Just because they say it's not for us. Okay, it's not for you, but it's for someone. And you just keep pushing, persevere, and I persevered. And that's why I'm sitting here with the book.
Well, you're credit to yourself, like, you know, it's belief, exactly.
You have to believe in yourself and believe in what you do, whether it's music, whether it's a business. Doesn't matter what it is. If you believe in yourself and you believe this product, if you make a product, if you have music, if you write a book, whatever, you go and you push it and persevere until you achieve your goal. Achieve your goal. You know?
Suppose somebody comes along and says, right, I want to make a film out of that.
Paul,
no, seriously.
Paul Cox would have to be in a.
It sounds like this film, innit?
Well, anybody that has read again the transcripts. I've given it to a girl called Sue Hopkins, Sue, and she's from the inner city, from the south inner city, and she read the two books, and she said to me, the first thing she said, Terry, this would make a good film because I could see the characters, and you get to know the characters, and you get to love them or hate them accordingly. And she said, Terry, you can see this a film. So that for me, and one or two more people said that as well. My wife said it. My own wife said it.
Yeah, biggest critic.
Oh, absolutely.
Your family's going to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, my wife, she would not hold back. She says it as it is. She's from Sean McDermott Street. She says it as it is. Yeah. Straight up, you know.
Well, Terry, the very best of luck. We're all blown away by this now.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it. And
well, can I give you this?
Oh, but I'd be delighted.
€10, please.
Yeah. I'm a cabin man, are you mad?
Paul, thanks very much.
I'm going to read this. There's the copy of the book, and in the city. Where's it available, Terry, now? Tell everybody there.
It's available on Amazon. It's also available in the local shop in Virginia at the moment, has it. So hopefully Eason's and W.H. Smith have it, Waterstones have it. But on my Facebook and Inner City, if you go on Facebook and Inner City, you will just follow the links and it'll tell you where to get the book then. It will take a couple of days for it to get into the shop, so it's only out since last Thursday, so by next week we'll have it worldwide. It's already worldwide, it's on Amazon. So if you want to read it, it's on Amazon and it will be in hopefully Eason's and hopefully some more bookshops and independent bookshops around Ireland and the UK.
Brilliant. And as Terry said there is the book. And if you have any trouble getting it, contact us here at Cavan TV and we'll put you onto the right places to get it. I know there are people watching in America and Australia now, and they'd be very, very intrigued by this, people that are away from home and that. And as Terry said, to contact him, but you've an Inner City Facebook page. An Inner City Facebook page. Teriyaki is me. Teriyaki is my stage, my gig name. So it's Teriyaki or an Inner City. Once you put in an Inner City on the Facebook, it'll bring you straight into the page, and all the details are there, and my phone number, my email address, everything is there, and you won't be, if you go on to even Cavan TV, you'll definitely get the book. It will be out. Fantastic. Well, Terry, we wish you the very, very best of luck. We'll give this a thorough review, and we'll come back and let you know just what we think of it, and when we get back to the other ones. We're going to share it around the studio now, and I know Tina will be a good critique of this now. She'd be great at this. But Terry, thanks a million for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to read this now. I was going to say I go to bed now, but I have to. I've got another couple of things to.
It's a good read.
Terry O'Shea, ladies and gentlemen, and as you said there, I've got to get in the last plug as well. If you want him for karaoke,
yes,
he's absolutely brilliant. This man sings everything.
Oh,
he know from, as he said, from Sam Smith to
Matt Monro.
Matt Monro.
Yeah, Sinatra, all anybody.
Give me Matt any day.
Yeah.
Terry, thanks a million.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, people. Good night.